Hello everyone and welcome to Aviz Podcast Series. In every episode, we meet with our customers, partners or industry experts to talk about all things networking. Today, we are talking about the open source networking operating system called SONiC. My name is Ilona Gabinsky and I'm the moderator of this webinar, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be joined by the networking industry experts from Celestica, Art Ford and Paul Lysander. Art and Paul, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here today.
Thank you for having us. Good to be with you.
So how about before we dive into all nitty-gritty topic of SONiC, we break the ice with some rapid fire. Okay, Art, let's start with you. Can you name one YouTube show that never fails to make you laugh?
You know, I would have to go with Office Space. I'm a big fan of the movie Office Space, and it reminds me of early in my career. I think the movie was from 1999. It's about Initech software company, and they go through a lot of really comical situations that I actually experienced myself early in my career. And anybody that's watching that's even younger in career, go watch it. It's still applicable today.
Definitely, absolutely. So, Paul, now to you. What's the best career advice that you've ever received and why?
Well, that's an interesting question. Many people have obviously different views on career and how to just advance your career and how to develop your career. Probably the best piece of advice has been to do something that's meaningful and impactful. So look for things that actually have value to the industry, to customers, and obviously to where you work. And obviously to do whatever those tasks are, to do them, exceedingly well.
That's definitely very insightful advice and something that our listeners can take to their heart. So Art, now I have a question for you. If you had an opportunity to invite for dinner any tech influencer tonight, who would it be and why?
Besides mining Bitcoin, as cliche as it sounds, I would probably pick Steve Jobs. I mean, he was just so influential, changed our lives in so many ways beyond just technology, just in actual everyday life. So I think, if I had an opportunity to go back in time and meet somebody, it would probably be Steve.
Yeah, that's a fascinating choice. And, even if I could sit in the audience and listen him speak, that would be a great opportunity for me as well. So, if we could go back in time and if you could invite Steve Jobs for dinner, can you invite me also? Okay, so Paul, last question before we get to SONiC. If you had the opportunity to master any skill, any technical skill overnight, what would it be?
I would focus on foundational skills. I think it's easy to chase the next shiny object, but to me, it's all about foundation. So probably if I had to look back and just pick a sub area, I'm choose engineering and computer science, mathematics, like the core disciplines, because everything else builds on top of that. Right. So really understanding mathematics, linear algebra, calculus, differential equations, logic, those sorts of subjects. And then the applied sciences, definitely engineering, physics, biology, chemistry, that are really application of principles. Mm-hmm. So sort of first principles thinking, how to think logically, how to problem solve. Those are all foundational skills that will extend no matter what the next technology way might be.
Now let's get to our main topic, which is SONiC. Can you tell us a little bit about SONiC, what it is, and why is it so transformative for the industry?
Yeah, SONiC is, in its simplest form, it's a free open source network operating system based on Linux. SONiC actually stands for Software for Open Networking in the Cloud, and it was designed to support a cloud data center. Originally, it was developed by Microsoft and the Open Compute Project, sometimes referred to as OCP. And in about 2022, Microsoft ceded oversight at SONiC to the Linux Foundation. The Linux Foundation still works with OCP on now the stewardship and growth of the project. The cool thing about SONiC is that it has all of the necessary networking software components to support a fully functional L3 switch device. And because of its open nature, it allows cloud operators and network administrators to use a common software stack across multiple vendors and multiple platforms. Today, there's over 100 different platforms that support SONiC, and many of those vendors offer enterprise-level service and support, like Celestica. Celestica also is a member of Linux Foundation, as well as OCP, and we wholeheartedly both support both of those industry consortiums.
Yeah.
So that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah, this is great. Thanks for that insight. Now over to you, Paul. So considering the evolving needs of the modern enterprises, why do they increasingly prefer SONiC?
Customers are telling us a number of reasons why they're looking at SONiC in a real tangible way. The first thing is the openness. So, one of the taglines that's often used is SONiC is Linux for networking. And everyone, at least in technology, understands Linux, understands the value, the openness of it, the open systems aspect of it. So SONiC really is analogous to that in the network, right? So the open source nature of it, the ability for customers and partners to be able to leverage open source software in that manner. The second thing is just the overall community. There's a large community. If you look at across partners, the different aspects to what it means to run a network, there's a huge and growing ecosystem for partners. And so really on top of that would be sort of the value add that you can get with SONiC. You can build on top of it. You can extend it very easily. So those three things really are sort of the key linchpins to why SONiC has gained so much traction.
So you mentioned the important aspect of community. Can you elaborate a little bit more how it uses the community to stay innovative and ahead of industry trends?
Sure. So there's a number of working groups as part of the SONiC community. So these working groups really focus on various key subtopics within the networking stack. So for example, the PENS group, which is focused on enterprise features. So typically, as Art mentioned, it started in the data center and it's evolved to the point that now customers are seriously looking at deploying it in the campus environment, campus enterprise environment, so all the way to the edge. So because the data center has a unique set of features versus enterprise, which also has a unique set of features, the extensibility of being able to add features easily because of the extensible nature of SONiC. The other interesting thing, going back to the advantages, is it's a single OS, single network operating system that can scale up or down. Typically, vendors don't do that. They've got different technology stacks depending on if it's in the data center or if it's in the campus or at the edge. Here, it's the same OS, same network operating system that can scale depending on where it is in the network.
So thanks for those insights, Paul. Now, Art, turning over to you. Can you elaborate a little bit how pairing SONiC with Celestica switches enhances network capabilities and what unique advantages it brings to the table?
Great question. So combining SONiC with Celestica's portfolio of data center and enterprise campus switches brings tremendous value to our customers. Customers looking for a strong, reliable, and open networking environment. There's a number of points that I would bring to bear on this that Celestica brings to the table. First, we offer a hardened version of the community software. So we do extensive testing, but the difference is that it is an open version. And the next point to that is that we also offer enterprise class service contracts for customers that are looking for additional peace of mind, service and support, somebody to call if they do need the help on that community version. The third point that I would make is that because we're members of the Linux Foundation and we're members of the working groups that Paul mentioned, we bring fixes back into the community. We bring additional functionality back into the community. And then the fourth point that I would make is that some of our customers want additional function that is not offered in community, and we can bring that to bear as well. So the combination of what SONiC offers and our approach to how we bring that to market is very unique and enables our customers to bring an enterprise level product that is scalable.
Right. This is really some great advantages that you bring to customers in pairing SONiC with Celestica switches. Paul, would you like to add anything to that?
Yeah, so we have a full suite of switches, all the way from spine, leaf, top of rack switches, and management switches as well as all the way down to the campus, down to let's say campus that's deploying switches in their wiring closet. The nice thing about SONiC, as we just mentioned earlier, is that same software stack scales up and down, right? That's a huge advantage for SONiC. So operationally, a customer, when they're familiar with SONiC, they can deploy it in their network, in the data center, into the campus and enterprise, all the way down to the edge. And their support staff, their network engineers, can fully manage and implement these switches running SONiC across the entire network. So that's a huge advantage. So we have at Celestica, we have spine switches, we have 800 gig switches, we have 400 gig switches, we have top of rack, leaf switches, and campus switches, and they all run SONiC. And community SONiC, our focus is community. So the main thing for us is community-driven features, right? So that's a big emphasis for us, and that's really what drives our engineering effort.
That's right. And I just wanted to add also, we have Celestica switches in our one center, and that's where we test them and provide reports to customers, quality deployments of SONiC. So that's awesome. So thanks for explaining this. So now, considering that SONiC was initially designed for hyperscalers, what makes it also suitable for enterprise-level organizations, Art? What do you think?
What I would say is that it's really the architecture that lends itself. I mean, it did start in the world, the complex world of hyperscalers, but its model inherently transfers over to the traditional so-called enterprise class market. And a lot of that has to do with the architecture. I'll ask Paul just a second to dive in a little bit more on the architecture, but I mean, things when you look at it like choice, control, savings, those are all features that are applicable to the enterprise market. There is a strong appetite to increase the feature set, all the way through the edge. You look at things, the challenges that they face, such as moving workloads from cloud to cloud or from cloud to on-prem. So I would say that, as we look at increasing the feature set, just because of the way that it's architected with containers, and it gives it the capability to move across from a hyperscaler market to an enterprise level market. And Paul, you want to expand a little bit on some of the architecture things?
Yeah, the architecture is really the underpinning, right? So it's built on Linux. The underlying operating system is Linux. And on top of that is containers. So they've containerized all these features like routing and various other core networking features. So the ability to containerize this functionality and have separation of services and use inter-process communication for them to communicate between each other really lends us up to a much more modern architecture. Typically, most architectures in the past were monolithic. This is microservices based. So the architecture itself is really the core differentiator for SONiC.
That's great.
This is a great insight and a great advantage of community-driven SONiC. So thanks for the detailed overview. And as we conclude, I have a final question to both of you. Considering the complexities of SONiC, what do you think, how easy it would be for customers just to implement it on their own, or you would say they would need a partner who can help them enable SONiC into their environments?
Okay if I address this one first and then I'll hand it off. It's always better to partner. And we look at things like, functionality, performance, support, things like that. You look at software partners like Aviz, and they are 100% dedicated to building an open cloud and AI first network. You look at, they have you have a whole team of experienced and visionary leaders that are looking to bring out that best-in-class performance. And along with Celestica, we stand with you to support our customers to make that experience exceptional. And that's really what we're looking for in a partner like Aviz. And I think that the way that we work together brings that experience to our customer base.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you very much, Art. Paul, is there anything you would like to add?
Yeah, I think the partnerships are so important because it really is an ecosystem of different companies that bring, their own value add to the overall sort of effort. So customers do need partners, and partners need partners. So that's really the value that we see in the whole effort behind SONiC. There is efforts on the development piece for ongoing enhancements to SONiC itself. And then when you look at the orchestration and management, that is another layer of partnerships. And there's many organizations that are focused just on that layer. So, and then of course there's a hardware piece. So, there's many piece parts to the overall solution, and there's many partners that each have their own role to play in really making SONiC successful.
That's great. Thank you, Art and Paul, for joining us today and for providing your deep insights into SONiC and its transformative impact on the industry. And thank you for all the listeners for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed our discussion today. Don't forget to join us for the next episode. But for now, let's stay connected and keep innovating.